Good afternoon. It's a little before 2 here in the US of A, East Coast. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's not too far from being over, but we got a couple hours here and wanted to start talking about a project that I have been pursuing here for the last few weeks on and off. And um, so this is the Football League of the Americas. If you can see the title screen there, there's a picture that I shamelessly screen capped from the Play Games website. And we are calling this the Primera, which is obviously the Spanish word for premier. So this is the Premier League. So a little bit about the Football League of the Americas. If you're familiar with the channel here and have watched several different things I've done on the channel, you know, especially with golf, I have been pretty in depth with the fictional card sets that Play has put out. The Tenacious Golf Tour is, I think it's in its 4th season, if I remember. Actually, I'm like 99.999% sure of that. I've also been using the fictional football set, not this football, the gridiron football version, which is oh heck, you ever have that feeling when you like have something you're like under pressure and you just blank? Football America, that's what it's called, but it's like you're blanking because you got your mind made up that you're gonna sound like a fool if you just stammer and don't remember, and it puts you in this sort of like clutch of somewhere between fear and just a blanking of the brain. That's kind of where I was. Anyway, so different football. This is soccer, and we're going to be using Soccer Blast. You can see as well with the Primera that you see Soccer Blast on the right side of your screen. That is their soccer game, football for the Europeans. And I've played a bit of Soccer Blast. I got in on sort of a cooperative tournament a couple of years ago that left me a little less than happy in playing it for whatever reason. Maybe because I didn't really know the game that well, and it was sort of like a drafted league where a number of things just sort of went against me. And anyway, maybe I wasn't in the best state of mind when it came to that as well. But that's a little bit more than this. So what's going on here? So the Football League of the Americas is a 20-team set that Play will sell. And what I had decided to do, obviously you can do whatever you want. You could take the 20 teams and run a 20-team league. That's basically your Premier League is 20 teams, right? Kind of can do it however you want. I decided in my version that I kind of wanted to have a Premier Division called the Primera, and I guess I haven't really done much with the second one yet. I guess that'll be called the Segunda, but that's what we're going with here. And I can give a bit of background on what's going on with the league so far as I'll move over to the desktop here. And this is the schedule so far with the Primera. Actually, I guess what I should do is I'll just show the table first, because this is basically your teams. And so with the 14-team league, that means we have 7 games each match week. So if we're in game 11, we played 10, obviously. So that's 3 games into match week 2. So as you can see, there's quite a diversity where they are, and I believe I used, again, this is a few months back, used a random generator to decide, okay, which teams are going to be in the Premier Division and which teams are going to be in Second or Segunda Division. And so these are the teams in the Premier Division, and as you can see, our 2 teams for this game, Ecatepec and Lima, are not. It's not a sexy matchup per se. Although, I would say Ecatepec didn't really look like a great team the first time I played it, but Lima lost 1-0 in their game as well. So 2 teams that are probably going to be punching at the bottom of the division. But we'll just go through Baja California, Guayaquil, Los Angeles should be relatively familiar but Baja California, Mexico, Guayaquil, I think is Ecuador, L.A., Santo Domingo, it's Puerto Rico, correct? I'm sure I'll get, or maybe no, that's the Dominican. My bad. Brasilia, that's pretty obvious. Houston, pretty obvious. Ecatepec, which is one of the teams we'll see here, is a sort of a suburb of Mexico City, so if you will call it that. And so I guess sort of like the U.S. has New York teams, for Mexico City they have a couple of teams there. Montevideo, that's Uruguay. Sao Paulo, so we have a couple Brazil teams in there. Chile has Santiago. Lima from Peru, Toronto, Canadian team, and Caracas. And let's see. Some of the teams that are available, I can just read them off here as that are going to be down in the other division. I don't think we read Buenos Aires there, right? That's one. Bogota, New York has a team. Rio, so a third Brazilian team right there. Montreal, another Canadian team. La Paz, Bolivia. So I might have missed one in there too. I don't want to be digging through my whole set. But anyway, so this is your table right now. And really early. I could show you the stat leaders, but you're not really going to know much about them. I think what I would really like to start talking about is playing this game. So, just to talk about the structure of the league real quick. So 14 teams, and what we would do is we would then have, so that would make for 28 match weeks, and that's the way we're going to do it. And we're going to do a single table, home and away, 3 points, win, draw is a single point, loss is nothing. That's kind of the way that the world works. We're not going to have playoffs. What we will do is I think we will have 2 teams relegated at the end of the season, and if we get through this in time and play offers an updated FLOTA set, then we will carry on and just do the promotion and relegation for that. If not, then so be it. So this is I have a game book that I've constructed here that I've been play testing some, and it works pretty well, so we're going to go with it. The one thing I will say is, because I use some what do you call them? What is this? This is is that a power query? I guess it's pivot table. Because I use these pivot table filters, they don't really work off of setting the game. If I go to this other match stat screen, you're going to see it has Ecatepec and Lima over here. But I'm just going to show you how I set up my teams. You can do it the way you want. And so I just need to set these teams, and that'll bring up their rosters. And then, all right, so what is this? So there's there are values off of the well, let me see something here. I got to take a look because it's been a while. All right, so in Soccer Blast, and I guess I'll have to come to the tabletop screen here. In Soccer Blast, we can get out Ecatepec here and just take a look at the cards. So these are the cards, and I am just been struggling with some nosebleeds the last few days, so bear with me. I'm gonna try and fight through this thing. I don't know if it's just change of the seasons or whatever. So Soccer Blast, some key things that we have here. First off, first off, the name, position, and in these cards, like McGillivray here you could have for positions, you can have a mixture. So you could have like a guy who could be a midfielder or a forward, and you could have, there are some that are midfielder defenders, like my interpretation is that you should consider the first one is kind of like the one that they should probably play more often, and then, you know, if you get in a situation where you have to sub them in, or maybe depending on how you do your game day roles for fitness and everything, if you have 11 guys and you have one guy who's like a midfielder M-D, but you only have 3 other defenders and you want to have 4 at the back, maybe you can use that guy's. But like I would say, like with McGillivray, he probably should be in the midfield more often than that, maybe as an attacking midfielder, you would probably think, as opposed to a guy that's like M-D, you'd think, okay, that's probably a defensive midfielder. So anyway, so that's, you got those guys, and you have the name of the team, Ecatepec. At the top, you have shot and assist. So there's a lot of glare there. You can see that, like for the forward there, that shot has 4 stars. The more stars, obviously, the better of a chance that a player gets his shot. Will score with a shot, I guess is the way you would put it. And the assist will also modify it. Now, as a forward, sometimes some guys will have assist ratings that are better. Other times, like in this case, he's almost a pure poacher. He's just really good at putting the ball in the back of the net. Probably not going to be setting up too many guys, not much vision. So those 2 are important. You have the center of the card where you'll have triangles, which are basically attacking ability. A two triangle guy means a good attacker. A circle comes up for possession. That will help a team retain possession in a lot of cases. And then squares are defensive in nature, and it will help a team gain control in a lot of situations if the squares are available. So those are those guys. Now you'll see a number of words here like pace, touch. So these are traits for the players. So the way that they're aligned on the card, and it's based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When we have a die roll, 1 is pace, and then you got touch, strong. So 1, 2, 3, pace, touch, strong. You got hard is 4, and then tactics and star. So usually guys will have, I'd say 2, maybe 3. So the better players will have 4. I think, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I have seen guys with 5. It's rare to have one with maybe more than 4 traits. But they come in with the after the midfield battles and the build up and the take on, which the take on is more of a one-on-one matchup, whereas build up is more of a team game. And then last but not least, and this is really the reason I went through the card design, is because this is where we're going to get to it. So you got a head rating. That comes in on the highlight reel checks. You can sometimes get header goals that will get influenced by their rating. Kick, card, and start. So kick is free kick rating. Usually the direct free kicks can go right off their card rating. The card is basically, are you going to get a yellow card, red card, and then start. So the way that the play system works is that you can see here we have two of these designations. Actually, we have three designations, if you will. Check and plus means that's the highest rating you can get. Felix is a check for the start rating. Now, if you're check plus, that means you should start almost every game. In my system, which Larry is here in the chat, and him and I have kind of like both been dabbling with this. I've been dabbling a little more in the last couple of weeks. He had dabbled with it a bit more earlier in the year, and then anyway, we all have things that come up to the table and then get pushed to the back of the table. But anyway, I've kind of taken his approach, which I believe was to not have the check star be 100%, but you still have a chance of being out. But like, I've had them where I'd had a check or a check plus on the start, where it comes up at 12, but they didn't have enough players, so then it's like, okay, well, that guy ends up starting because the way this deck was designed is they pretty much should start every game. But this is a two die roll, I believe. That's what I think that's what I think I did. I'm trying to remember because it's been a while, but I think it's a 2 die roll sum, and if it's a 12, the check plus would sit unless, again, you're low on cards. So I said there's 3 designations. The third one is a nothing. So let's see if I can find one here on the start. Right there. Aguian Guzman is a so that would be so the base game way you do it is you would roll a single die, and so the check plus on the start would be, I think, that's interesting. Let me read the do I have that here? It's in here somewhere. You set up these things and then you kind of forget the little basics and everything. Pre-game setup. That'd probably be in a pre-game setup. Well, anyway, I think the base game is that maybe that's a 6. If you roll 1 die and you get a 6, then you should sit the check plus. That's on the start. That's not that's the head. That's the start. 5 for the check, 3 for a nothing like that guy was, and then for the X it would be a 1. So basically, for them to start, they would roll a 1, or to be available to start. But then again, you can. You have some play in there, but what you're really trying to do is limit some guys who aren't designed to be regular starters. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And so that's all of these at the bottom. That's the general philosophy, is that the check plus is the best, the X is the worst, and in the case of cards, that's better because you don't really want to get a lot of cards if you can help it. And they do come up in this game. And anyway, so let's go back to this other screen now, because what I have here is I've been using some Visual Basic to set up just so this. I'll hit this button right here, and it's going to tell us everybody who's available. Now it's interesting that if I were to just scroll that a little bit, you can see for Lima there's 11 that we have 11 who are going to be available, and so we'll have a full complement out of that. But you can see that we would depending on how, like if it's like 6 forwards for some reason, then we're probably going to have to do a little bit of switching around. But if not, we can. So let's see if I can, at least for the time being, I'm going to do a little bit of this. All right, so I should be able to scroll over and we can see this. So what I'll do is I'll take the cards and I'm going to spread them out into, so like Gustavo Felix is okay, so I'm going to have one pile of okay. McGilvray is okay. Xander Ballweg, okay. Tanner Ruby, okay. Duxbury, Brody Bevel, that's a rest. You can see a bunch of the guys at the top. So you can see for a 5, let's see, is there anybody really, San Roman Hurtado, the goalkeeper, is a 3, so he's has no marking. With an 8's a rest. That's not it. I mean, there's nothing really out of whack here, so I could almost go through and, so Godina should be okay. Goy Contreras is okay. Moreta, Cifuentes, fine. Landon Witherell, Cruz Capetillo, Aguian Guzman. Remember we talked about him earlier. He's not available. Callan Lightly, Nicholas Sosa is okay. Mason Cornick, he's going to rest. Defender Chevy Coelho will rest. Oh, also that's another thing to keep in mind here. Rock is okay, but he is on a red. He got a red in his last game, so he must sit. So got to keep that. I just remembered that from. He's the only one that had a red so far. Rest for Wei Xiong. Josue Centellanes is okay. And then we got Hector Marcantel is going to be the starter. He is available, starting goalkeeper. And San Roman Hurtado is going to rest, but he will be on the bench. So I play the guys that are guys that are not available are going to be on the bench. We have the roster's 21 deep, so it's like you don't have a complete roster to have a bunch of rest players. So, but what I try to do is I try to set it up so that the players that if there are unused players that are okay to play, then they're probably going to be the subs. Now, the tough part about that is that if they're all defenders and let's say Ecatepec is behind, making defensive changes is not necessarily going to be the best thing. So, you know, we take it with a grain of salt, but that's the plan would be to try and make sure that we are using players that are match fit. That's a term in soccer. If you're familiar with soccer, the guy that's match fit's ready to go. But let's start. So I tend to try and stick to a 4-man back line, and I'm going to use this pitch here to sort of like set things up. So let's see. So the other thing I would do is with these guys that are the fit players, I'm going to sort of separate them into. So Sosa is check plus. So I'm going to use their start rating. You can see the check plus there. I'm going to sort of triage them into, because that'll also make it easier to decide who is going to actually play in this game. Once you know who's match fit, you can kind of like make sure that you're ready with the check pluses. And there aren't too many on this team, maybe because they stink so bad. But all right, so Nicholas Sosa is the only one who's a check plus, so he's going to be in our defense. Now he's got an assist of 2, so let's put him on the. We're going to have him as a fullback, let's say, and then we'll see how things work out if we need to move him in the center. But we're hoping to find. We would want so Goy. Wait, I should actually go with these guys first. All right, so we have two defenders that are Czechs that have now neither of them have I figure the assists should be outside backs. The outside backs are usually the ones that are swinging in crosses and stuff like that in the box. So Landon Witherell here looks like a center back. He's got a shot rating of 2, which means he's probably going to get in there with on set pieces. And also the defenders that have a square, I usually would try to get. I mean, 2 squares is really good, and you would almost certainly want to have a 2-square defender as your central defender. But in the case of this team, this is what they've got. And then we could either go with so out of the rest of these Czechs, there are no other true defenders. You have Godina Melendrez, who is a circle and is an MD, so it could be probably another decent opportunity to be like an outside back. But I mentioned before, and here are a couple of others off the screen. But I'm thinking we're gonna go. That's interesting. We could also put this guy Cruz Capitello. Well, it just depends. Do we want a guy back here, especially if you notice we don't have a lot of squares in the rest of these players. So I think we need Goy Contreras here, and so then we will have 4 dedicated defenders in here, and we'll have 3 of them that have squares. But if you're lacking squares, you really have a tough time fending off attacks. So that's where we're at with that. Yeah, I guess let me see something. Okay, Josh Rock, he's also a guy who is a Czech plus, but you notice with the card, he's also a Czech, and that's where he got his red card from, was from all that. So let's see. All right, so now again, you wouldn't mind having like a defensive midfielder that has stars, but we don't really have that. So I still think we're going to go with 4 midfielders. We just have to figure out how we can do this from the players who are available. And let's see. Let's go with the guys checked in with the start at first. So let's go with Godina Melendrez, this midfielder who has defense in there as well. They're a possession winner, so we will put them at central midfield. And let's see. So we've got Ruby as a start. We've got McGilvery as a start. And Felix. So let's get these guys out of the way. Let's put Felix right up front. And Tanner Ruby will be the other front guy. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of do like a diamond here. Okay, we'll put McGilvery as a midfield forward. And then we need 2 more. Let's go with Duxbury as an outside midfielder, and Capitello as a he's got strong, so maybe he'll be a little bit better as far as defense goes. But yeah, I think that's how we will play this. And then Xander Ballwig and Josue Santillanes will be 2 first-choice subs, and we have a forward and a midfield forward. So those 2 are good for subbing in if and when they get behind. Of course, they're playing Lima, who didn't play very well either. So I'm using regular full play, Philip. Yep. Hi, Philip. Hi, Scott. Hi. Is that Joaquin, I believe? I mean, aside from me blabbering here, I do think the regular Soccer Blast isn't exactly a long play. Let's see. Who are we gonna have? So these guys, we need what do we need? 4 more subs. We have 7 subs. One's gonna be the backup keeper. So we'll put Brody Bevel as a check start. And is there any other checks in here? No. Cornick will be the other defensive player. He has a no start. So then we'll go with, we'll get Guzman in there as he has a square as a midfielder, and then we'll get another, let's see. We'll go with Callan Lightly. He has a check on the card. Maybe we can get him a red card. We'll see. All right. I mean, after playing second season, Soccer Blast is a bit of a breeze, I would say, as far as like timing goes. Okay, so we've got these 2 guys and then those 4 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to come over to this screen, and now we're going to set up the home team. So Mark Cantle is going to be the goalkeeper. And let's see, we'll put the 2. So it'll be Witherell and I think it's Cifuentes, right? Yeah, they're going to be at 5. I'm going to put the, I guess it doesn't make a difference. They're going to get flipped around a few times. So Sosa will be the first defender, and Goy. Contreras. So those are our defenders. All right, so you know, this is where I always get kind of, you know, where it's tough. I think 3 we're gonna go with Cruz and Godina. We'll put Godina first. And then, oh. And then we'll put McGilvray. Duxbury, and then Felix and Tanner Ruby. Okay. So that's our home team. And then just for the sake of it here, this helps for later. Okay. So that's one team. All right. Now we're going to go to the match fitness for Lima. And now this is going to be a little more tricky because we have right at 11, but I'm going to slide this down so I can use a little bit more and show it you here. So Soltero, Morency, rest, Hodder. I got to get used to, I need to look at the first name. Chinchilla Cantera, rest. Oh, that's too bad. Chinchilla is a fun name to say. Gavin Cromartie, John Montellano, Jace Weirley, he'll be okay. Tristan Noonkester. Brett Herzler will rest. Janos is okay. Fabio Fava, rest. Corey Jacquez, rest. Dorian Baert. Liam Klingbeil. Chase Weaver. Ooh, Chase Weaver. Miguel Ola is okay. Kasib Saba, rest. London Smalling is okay. Mirza Tomic has to rest. Then we've got, let's see, who is it? So Roulet. Mick Roulet will sit, and it'll be Magnus Gillen, who does look like the first choice keeper. But all right, so we've got, this should be right at 11. So let's see what we can get. And again, we're going to split these up into our start classifications. Got 3 check pluses. So let's see where do they end up classifying. Midfield or defense. So Dorian Baert will be, let's move it like this for now. You got a couple of midfielders here that are always starters. So we'll put Noonkester on the wing. Now we have regular checks. Oha. Did I say Ola? I think it's Oha. Actually, there you go. And then Chase Weaver. We'll put him in another wing, and we're gonna need to find some defenders. There's Janos, so we're gonna have to dip into the non-match fit guys because it just isn't gonna work. We could put Janos there in the back line in this as a center back. And then we're going to need 2 outside defenders. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need 8, 9, 10. And we got, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, here we have London Smalling. We're going to have to. So he's going to probably be the one we eject. Well, we might need 2 that we have to get rid of. So let's see. Hodder will also be, because we're going to need to find. You know what? We can make this work. Let's make this work the best we can. Hodder. I guess London Smalling will not play because he's the X start. He's like the least. How are we going to make this work? We can't really make it work unless we were to go. I guess we could go with a 3 back line. What the heck? Let's do that. London Smalling will be the first guy off the bench. Let's just we'll find the highest starting defender that we have that missed. Is it Jacquez or Fava? One or the other. All right. Well, let's see. Fava. We're gonna go since they are basically using wingers. We're gonna go with the better defender because Fava has an attack triangle. Anyway, so that's how that will work, and I think this is the best we can do with, you know, that's one of those where you just have too many forwards and midfielders and not enough defenders. So that's kind of where the system can break down on occasion, and you just have to go with what you got. So, and I'm still trying to get through a little bit of a this last couple of days have been a bit tough with all right, well, enough about me. Let's get to the game, and let me see, how far over can I? Okay, so Gillen is going to be goalie. Okay, we're going a little bit different here. I don't usually do like a 3-man back line, but I think that's about the best way we can do it if we want to honor the system that we're playing. So we'll put Bert and Janos the back line here at 5. Then we use Jacquez and man, my brain is so 3 defenders. Klingbeil will be a midfielder, and we'll go with Soltero, Noonkester at 3. Let's do Warely and Weaver. Oh. A second, I'll clean this up in a second here. And then at the top will be Oha and Hodder. I feel kind of weird about putting a forward any farther down than that, but we'll just... Doesn't have a very good card, but he can win possession, so maybe we should have flipped him and Weirly, but... Alright, so that's that, and then I just need to get my backups. The backup goalie was Roulet. So we'll put Smalling and Fava. Oh wait, no, Fava wasn't a... I'm going to put him down here near the bottom. He wasn't fit. Smalling is one who was fit that isn't getting to start. Tomic will be the other defensive sub. Cromartie. Do Morency's a midfielder, and do we have any other? We'll go Hertzler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. Hey, we're ready to play. Pretty much. Pretty much. If I can keep from losing a gallon of blood here, that'll be good. One of those weekends. All right, what do we got here? I'm gonna look at the comments that have been left here, and it's fictional. Give myself grace. That's not something I'm particularly great at there, Larry, but you already knew that. Oh, I remember I kind of spread it out here a little bit more. All right, so what we have here are a couple things here on the screen. which this is kind of nice as well because it holds some of the die rolls, so it's a bit easier to keep the data in mind. Like I kept going in a way that, you know, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to forget which one I did here or there or whatever. So it kind of is nice to be able to reflect back. And if I play something incorrectly, feel free to chime in. And Lima. And all right, so I'm gonna hit this added time one right down here, and that will be so 1 to 3 will be the home team starts. 4 through 6 it'll be the away team. It'll be the home team, so that's going to be Ecatepec. All right. So, and I should have something that isn't quite as baseball centric, but I use this little Phillies golf ball marker as a little possession, and sometimes I lose track of it, but it's also written here on my sheet. So either way, and so imagine hearing click, 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 and we're going to hit this button right here. And so the first roll is going to be, oh, and I need to get my charts and put them here somewhere. I have a specific way I do it normally that I can't do because I've got something else there, but it'll be okay. All right, so what do we see here? So in Soccer Blast, there's the procedure that you follow is you roll the dice. There's a green, a black, and a white. The green is what the team currently on offense, which in this case is the Ecatepec, the player that they have switched. So again, I guess I didn't really go through this if you're new to Soccer Blast. The team, 11 players on a team, the goalie is always showing, but you have 5 positions and they're each stacked with 1. So there's 1 player in each stack that's active at any moment. But when we roll the dice and we get a green die roll that's 2, we take the pair that's in 2 for the offensive team and we flip them. So it's going to be Jude Duxbury. He's going to come to the top. And then we take the 1 and 4 and add them together. And as you can see above those little buttons, it says ref decision. So we go to the referee decision chart M. And then I'm going to roll the second dice. And so this is where I have not been playing it where I switch on the green when it comes to these referee decisions. Maybe you do. You know what? I will this time. So I guess in theory what I should do is I should flip this guy back. And then 2 over here is going to be if it's a player, but it's not. So what it is it's because we're a neutral referee, we're starting the game neutral. And down in the bottom left of this screen right over here, I have a little indicator. All right there, Larry. See you a little later. I have a way I can kind of keep track of whether the referee is neutral or hostile or friendly. But right now they're neutral. So with a total of 9 right here. Whoa. What that does is it goes to a check to see roll die, which is going to be the green die. 1 to 3 offside called. Otherwise, it would be a spectacular chance at a goal, but instead it's going to be offside. And we're going to move on. And it'll be Lima now taking over. So we're going to the second minute. So for Lima, we invert the 5s. And then it's going to be midfield battle. So the midfield battle is a section that there's 2 of them. There's midfield and sideline. So midfield battle can have up to 6 minutes eaten up. and the sideline is either 2 or 3 minutes, but it vastly speeds up the game. And so what I do here is so it takes the green die of 5, and it's going to be a midfield battle for that 5 minutes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go all the way down here, and that's eaten up by this midfield battle. And then at the end of the battle, the roll, or a team will get an attack after this, which an attack is a chance to possibly get a shot on goal and score. So that that's sort of like the next. It's sort of like this game can have sort of like a first phase, which is this back and forth. That's kind of like very much soccer feeling, where a team tries to get an attack, doesn't meet certain requirements, and you will see this later, and so then so that means it's defended or tackled, and it goes to the other team. In some cases, the conditions will be met, and that will generate an attack, and that goes into sort of like a second phase. We're going to see the second phase here shortly, because the midfield battle ends with one team getting an attack. How do we decide which team? Well, it's based on the green die. The green die indicates a number. Each number is one of the 6 traits that you'll find on the middle of these cards. And so in this case, it's 5, which is tactics. And I've had this built so that it will show me, so I could play this pretty quickly. Say, okay, tactics. So what we do is we then go and count each side. How many players on this side, on each side, have tactics? There's 1, 2 for Ecatepec. For Lima, 1, only 1. So it's going to be Ecatepec who wins this midfield battle, and they will generate the attack that comes in the 7th minute. Okay? So now what happens from here? This goes to what I was telling you is this sort of second phase of attack. I'm going to make some room so I can keep sliding this up. So the attack portion is based off of triangles and squares. So Ecatepec has the ball, and now what we will do is we'll start to peruse this. Now the thing is, you got to remember, we're going to do another roll, and when we hit that green die, something's going to change. Also for the green die, 1 through 5, it's the offensive team. If you roll a green 6, the defensive changes, and it's based off of what's on the black and white die. You could change 2 for the defensive team. Could be 1, but we'll see that in a second, maybe. But anyway, so you check and see how many triangles are for the offensive team. In this case, right now, there are 2. And then you see how many squares are on the defensive team. Here you can see 2. So what happens? When we roll the dice, the black die represents the number of triangles that a team has to have in order to have generated a successful attack, which will lead to a shot on target. In other words, if the black die is 2 in this current configuration, that is enough to satisfy the attack for the offense, because there are 2 triangles right here. If it's a 1, that's also good, because they need at least 1 and they have 2. If it's 3, it's not enough because there's only 2. So for the black die, it needs to be at or above the number of triangles that are showing. For the white die, it's the opposite. If the white die is a 3, that's good. If it's 2, then there are 2 squares, and that satisfies it for the defense to nullify it. If it's a 1, the defense has nullified it. If it's a 3, then they do not have enough squares to make that attack, to render that attack dead. So that then generates what ends up being a shot on target. Anyway, we'll get there. Let's roll the dice, and hopefully we can make sense of this. So it's 4. We will switch Sosa with Contreras, which does nothing for the triangle count. But you can see the black 5 means there's only 2. They do not reach the number of triangles that it takes to successfully attack and get a shot on target. That being said, if it had been a 1, an attack would have been generated because they would have had enough, and the 4 on the white die would mean the defense was not strong enough to be able to fend it off. But from this point, we add the black and white, which is a sum of 9, and then we go to this chart, and I don't want to show it for too long. Buy the game and you can get your chart. But just a second here. We take the sum and then we look at the chart, and it says that 03 wide defended. So what I take this as is a shot off target by 03, which is Melendrez. So I'm going to put S with a circle, S with a circle is shot, SOT with a circle is a shot on target. A successful attack will lead to a shot on target most of the time. But in this case, it's going to be a shot by Melendrez. And then oftentimes, there'll either be a shot off target for one of the players, and then there will... so that's for most of the chances is that. And then also what there will be is a condition for the defending team or the offending team to be able to continue possession. It's based on a circle. So in the case of 9, 02 needs to have a circle, which McIlvery does. And so that means that Ecatepec holds on to possession, and they will continue in the 8th minute with possession. So hopefully that's relatively clear. The way to think about it, the offense is great, is less than or equal to is good. The white die for the defensive team on an attack has to be greater than. So that's what I like to think of for the defense, is that they have to reach the number of squares that's on the white die in order to fend off an attack. For the offense, again, it's they need to have a number of triangles to say that attack is effective. So like if it's like in this case 5, they don't have 5. So anyway. And again, ask questions. Mention things if you think I'm getting it wrong. I am completely fallible at this, and I think I'm doing it mostly right, but could always use some extra help. So we're going to move on to the 8th minute now. And let's roll the main dice again. That's 3. We're going to flip position 3 for the offense. Again, you can see. And it probably looks dark to you. It's because these cards are a little shiny. Let's see. Let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can just... let me try and brighten this up a little bit and see if I can... Maybe it'll help a little bit. That looks all right to me. Let me know if that looks any better for you guys. Okay, so 6 and 4 together are a tackle. Basically, what the tackle means is that if your defending team, which is Lima, has at least 1 square, which it does here with Llanos, the ball is lost and goes an attack. The sideline battle does not have an attack. Instead, what it has is you go off of the green die, and that will tell you what criteria you need to look at. And in this case, as you can see, right there, it says most circles. So we count up the circles. There are none here. There are 2 over here on Lima. So Lima will earn possession in the next minute. So that's basically an out of bounds off the sideline battle. So that's basically an out of bounds off the sideline battle. And Lima, what do you want to call them? Results from the sum roll. 2, 3, 4, 5. Black 5 and white 1. We're going to see is either player hard. Okay, Lima has Oha is hard. So that means that because they have possession and they win this take on, they're going to have an attack available. The take on, which is basically individual effort. And maybe later in the game we could use that because Oha is a good player to have this for. He has 4 shot stars. And so it's a fair opportunity. So basically what the individual effort is, if you win the take on, he could take a shot, and there's a chart specifically for that based on the 4 stars, and you roll the dice, you get the sum of the 2, the black and the white, and from there's a check to see. So yeah, sorry, my phone just jiggled. But in this case, because we have 3 triangles showing and only 2 squares, it's probably worth trying and seeing what the secondary roll will give us. But now if we roll a 2 on the green die or a 1, that can change this and we might lose triangles. So let's see what happens. It's a 1. And Hodder does not have a triangle, or else we would have generated an attack. But instead it's only 1, so the 2 on the black die means that is 2. That's too high for the offense to overcome. So the attack is thwarted. We go to that defended column, and it's going to be 0-1, which is Hodder is going to get a shot that's off target. And then D5, which is going to be Witherell, does not have a circle, so Lima will retain possession. So the thing is, I think even with the individual effort, you could, I guess, roll the green die and end up still having a change. But anyway, Lima will have possession. Move on to the 14th or the 13th minute here, excuse me. So here's the first time we get a green 6. So the green 6 means that we take the team on defense and we switch those 2 guys that are on the black and white dice. So position 2 and position 3 get switched. Man, it's already 3 o'clock. How about that? And then it's going to be ref decision. So we roll on that ref decision chart. And let's see. That's going to be a 9 as well. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. So 9, roll of 1 to 3. So I guess we will switch the 3 over on the defensive team. But 1 to 3 offside call. Otherwise, goalkeeper must make a spectacular save off a great chance by 0-1. So we're going to say this is a shot on target for Stanley Hodder. And so we have Hector Marcantil with a spectacular save rating of 3. And we're going to have to use this to see what happens. We're going to roll the 3rd dice. The green die will be our assist. Will indicate the assist depending on whether or not the goal is scored. Let's see. So it's 3. 5 and 5. We add it up. We go to spectacular save. Off the crossbar. Goal. It's not a green 6 this time. Or else it would, so that's going to be a goal. So Stanley Hodder scores the first goal of the game for Lima. It's a 1-0 lead for Lima over Ecatepec. Wow, Hodder. I was like, man, he's not that great, but he gets it here. So I have a... Just give me a second. It's going to be Lima. It's going to be... What was the minute? 13th minute. So the assistant referee does not... And it'll be Noonkester who gets the assist. It will be off of normal. There we go. Oh, you don't even need to see this one. We already got it here. Let's drop this a little more so we can see more of the tabletop. Take a little break here. 1-0. I'm gonna see what's this about. All right, 1-0 Lima. It's funny. Who did Ecatepec play in the last game? I'm gonna take a second here to, because I think they drew. Sao Paulo 2-2. They drew. Yeah, you can't see it there. That's okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it. It's weird because they had a very interesting game. I thought they were going to stink completely, but then they kind of had things roll their way. But in this game, they're off to a rough start. So, all right, 1-0 Lima. It's going to be Ecatepec taking over in the 14th minute. I don't know. That's one thing that I keep going back and forth on with this game is, should I add an extra minute of celebration but then I kind of do tack it on at the end. So I don't know. We're good. We just play it the way we got it, and we hope it works out. All right, let's roll the dice. Okay, we're going to do switch 3, and it's going to be take on again. 2 versus 4, and it's going to be strong. McKilvery strong. Klingbile is strong. The decider die is yes, so Ecatepec will get an attack, and now we'll roll the second dice. Oh, and this is going to be really good for them, as it's a black 1, which means that even with only the 2 triangles, they will generate a shot on target because the white die is 5 and there's only 2 squares showing for Lima. So it's going to be a shot on target. And we take the sum, which is 6, and we go to the on target shot, and it's going to be 0-3, which is Cruz Capitello, at least for now. Again, this is good, but also 3 is well, you know what? I'm gonna make the I take the green. Oh, you know what? I can't do it that way, because if I roll the green die here and it switches 3, it goes to the other shooter. So there's no assist going to be on this one, and he only has 1 shot star. So the sum brings up a different shooter mechanism than what the green die is. So it's a little bit unfortunate for them right now. And let's see, who's the other has 1 shot. It's a bit unfortunate that it's going to have to be another black 1 for them to have a chance at a goal here. Well, at least off of this shot. So let's roll the third dice, and it's a 2. And we're going to change, excuse me, player 4. So that is going to be 2 and 6 will be 8. So that's going to be a save. And again, that will be Capetillo. And it will be collected by Llanos and taken over by Lima. Okay, another take on. This time we're going to switch the 2 on the defense, the 1 and the 5. And it's going to be Tanner Ruby against Llanos with the star rating, and Ruby's got it, so that's going to be a lost possession for Lima. Okay, we'll change 2 for Ecatepec, and it'll be a 2-minute sideline battle, and it'll be most circles 1, 2 against 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so Lima will restart in 18. With possession, change Tristan Noonkester to Ecatepec, or Arispe Soltero. And then this is going to be a 3-minute sideline battle. Again, most circles, 1, 2, 1, 2. So then the decider die says yes. So it's going to, or wait, no. Yeah, so in this case, yes is the home team. So that's what we will do for that. And it'll be Ecatepec having control. It'll be 3 and 1. We switch over here. Home field advantage, which means that you get an automatic attack from the home team, which is Ecatepec. So we've got 3 triangles showing right now, and we're going to change 5 Llanos over to Bert. But it's 5, so there's not going to be enough triangles over here. So we add up to 10, which will be a shot off target from Ruby. And then 03 is Capetillo. He does not have a circle, so it's going to be possession loss to Lima. We're in the 22nd minute. Let's keep moving this up. All right, so this is highlight reel. It's the other side of referee chart, and let's see what that brings up. We switched 2, and we'll switch 4, and that's going to be an 8. So the defense green die player injured, removed from game. So that's player 4, Nicholas Sosa. Use injury rating. Well, that's going to be lucky for Ecatepec because he is a start rating of check plus, which means he's an Ironman starter. He stays in the game. So the injury, he's going to get over the injury. We'll move on to the next minute. Lima will continue to have possession. Switch up with 4. I forget which one was up there. It was Jaquez or Klingbeil. Well, we'll go with Klingbeil. They both have squares. All right, so it's going to be a take on 4 versus 2. And it's hard. Nicholas Sosa wins that battle. And because they didn't have possession, that's just a tackle. Okay, we're going to switch Bert for Llanos, and it's going to be an 11, which is going to be because it's a 6, it's just going to go straight to corner kick. I play this where if the green die is 1 through 5, I give the player at 1 through 5 a shot off target, which is deflected and leads to the corner kick. So, but in the case of the 6, I don't. So in the 25th minute, we're going to roll on the corner kick, and we're going to switch to in Soccer Blast, the corner kick, the direct free kick, and the corner kick and the direct free kick are you only have a different result if the sum of the black and white dice are 5 or less. If it's 6 or above, you just go off the main chart. And in this case, it's going to be a midfield battle of 2 minutes. And so the touch rating is next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Ecatepec. And since Llanos doesn't have that, Ecatepec will start the 27th minute behind with an attack. So let's see, they have 2 triangles showing. We're going to run 3 off here, and it's going to bring it down to 1. It doesn't matter. But what it will do is, this is another case where I give a shot. I'm going to give it to Melendrez, and it's going to lead to a corner kick. So I circle the attacks. The attacks, you can track them. I don't really do much of track. I mean, I track them on the sheet. I haven't decided whether I'm going to enumerate them later, but I figure it's at least worth having them. But they don't real. I mean, they could be a statistic if you wanted to have them. But anyway, so Ecatepec, we switch to, and it's going to be just off the normal chart. And so this is going to be build up. This is the first time we've seen this. So the build up is another way you could get an attack if you have more of the green die indicated trait than the other team. And in this case, remember, we had 5 touches, so the touch was a good one for them. But for Lima, they're missing one, so this is going to be another attack that comes off the corner kick. Let's re-roll. So we're going to switch to 2 again. That's still, we're short, aren't we? We have Ruby, but that's the only triangle, so it would have been enough if they had had one more triangle showing, but instead we go off the defended chart. It's going to be 04, which is Sosa, wide, and then D4, which is going to be Klingbeil, does not have a circle, so Ecatepec retains possession. 29th minute. Rotate 5. Sideline battle. It's going to be the trailing team, which is Ecatepec. .32 minute. Going to be another build-up. We're going to rotate 4. And it's going to be hard. Who has more hard ratings? 1, 2. So it'll be a loss of possession. The build-up, if the defense has more, then it's a loss of possession and basically a tackle or whatever you want to call it. So Lima will take over now. 33rd minute. So this is a case, the 4 roll when the visiting team has it. We switch their player on 5, but then it's going to be home field advantage, so we're going to move it over to here. And they're going to get, it's a home field attack actually, so they get an attack right off the bat. We'll roll the second dice. It's going to be 4, and it's not going to lead to an on-target shot. It'll instead be a shot for Ruby off target. And then that's 6, right? Yeah. So D5 that's Bear. He does have a circle, so it'll go back to Lima on the possession. Change 2 for Lima, and it's going to be a tackle if there is a square, and there is. So 35th minute. Rotate 2, and it will be Duxbury who takes a shot and leads to a corner kick. Let's roll these dice, and it's going to be a sideline battle, or a midfield battle, excuse me, for 3 minutes based on the green die. And then 3 is strong. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so with the midfield battle, the decider die tells you which one gets it. Yes is home, no is away. It's no, so it's going to be Lima getting the possession and a chance at an attack. So let's clear these dice here. Rotate 5, and it's not going to work out for them. It's going to be a shot off target by Oha. And 03 circle does have it, so Lima will retain possession. Rotate 3, it's going to be a ref decision. Let's roll the second dice. Rotate 2, and then a 5. Roll 1 die, 1 to 5, offside called. Yep. So it's a 2, so it'll be offside on Lima. 41st minute. Ecatepec 4, and that's going to be 4 minutes of midfield battle. And hard will decide. They don't have any player hard Ojais on Lima, so they will start 45th minute with an attack. Oh, we switch 1 to hotter. But with Weaver and Soltero, they both have triangles. That's 2, and there are only 2 squares, so this is going to be a shot on target. And then it's going to be the sum of 8, which is going to be 0-2 who shoots. That's going to be Chase Weaver. Now, well, not necessarily. And the assist would come from Hodder at this point. But let's roll the third dice. I know it says offsides. That's in certain cases. But in this case, we rotate 2 over here on... Wait, and it should be up here. Lima has it. All right, so Weaver, the trouble with Weaver is he has a scissors, which is going to half. So we didn't really, I don't know as we talked in depth about how the stars work. Let's switch, let's just assume, let's first say that we had Jace Weirley here instead of Chase Weaver. He has 1 shot star. If the 1 on this green right here, if that was indicating hotter, with Weirley as a shooter, you take the 1 shot and the 2 assist and add them together in 3. And so in this case, 2 would have been enough because it was less than or equal to that 3. Now, in the case of Weaver, who is the one that was showing, there's a scissor, which means it cuts it in half. So Hodder goes from a 2 assist. Instead of using his 2 assists, we just use 1. It cuts the 2 down to 1. And because this is a 2, it's not going to qualify. So then we use the sum and go to, and it will be Weaver with the shot on target, but Ecatepec will take over. And let's do how much added time? 4 minutes. We had 1 goal, so we'll make it 5 minutes of stoppage time here. And this is sort of like aligned with the way the Premier League has been in recent years, where you get a lot of stoppage time. So this is, again, something that Larry and I had talked about some, and it's mostly his indications on the method, and I think it works. So Ecatepec takes over, does not have any attack going, and we're going to rotate player 4. And it's going to be a sideline battle for 2 minutes. And then the home team will get it. Ecatepec. 3rd minute of stoppage time. We're going to rotate 4. And it'll be a ref decision. We'll rotate 4 again, and it's going to be 9. And in this case, we roll die 1 to 3, offside call. Otherwise, goalkeeper makes a spectacular save off a great chance by 1. It's going to be Ruby, so it's going to be a shot on target. This is basically the same mechanism as the Lima goal. Ruby gets a shot on target, and then we will roll off of Magnus Gillen, who has a spectacular save of 5. And there is 4. It's saved. And then it goes off for a corner kick. So Lima fends that one off. Sorry, you didn't see Gillen there. But, okay, so we're in the 4th minute of stoppage time. Ooh, here we go with it's a ref decision on the kick chart. This is one of those cases where it's a corner kick. We're going to rotate 3. But then we have the 5, which is the referee decision on the K chart. And let's see, go to neutral. And it's a 2. defensive foul, yellow card, and penalty kick. So it's going to be to Hodder. He is on the one. He's going to get a yellow. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and pull this up here. I'm going to use this guy. And that's leading to a last minute of stoppage time penalty kick for Ecatepec. And let's see, who are we going to choose to take it? We're going to choose McGilvery. So we're going to roll on the third dice, and the penalty kicks, the way it works, 2 through 4 is a missed goal. 5 is a spectacular save opportunity. 6 and above is a goal. And it's a 9. It is a goal. And the whistle blows, and it's going to be 1-1 as we go to the intermission. So let's get that on there. So a goal for Ecatepec. It's the kind of, so let's see, that's going to be the 50th minute. Or let's do 45 plus 5. One. All right, just to show you what I'm doing over here. So this is the way that my little game day chart or little tracker looks. And you can see here how we have that. And now I have another guy here which helps me to get stats. So just bear with me as I notate these things in my little match book here, and then we'll get back to the second half. If you have any questions, feel free to chime in. I am looking at the chat right now, and I will be as I go. So let's see, how much more do we got? A little bit more. Oops. Okay. That looks like the first half stuff that's gone on. 1-1. Let's see, what do we have for match stats? 1 goal, no assist. McGilvery, 1 for 1 on the PK. 2 shots, 1 save for Markentel. For Lima, they have 1 goal, 1 assist. Hodder from Noonkester. Penalty kicks do not count as shots faced, so that's why we see that. Oh boy. So that's the first half. Time for the second. And Lima will get possession to start. 1-1 your score as we come out of the break. And it's going to be 3-minute sideline battle right out of the gate here. Home team gets possession. Ecatepec. Rotate 5, and the take-on is going to be 2 versus 4. Tactics. No tactics there. Jaquez has them, so it's going to be lost to Lima. I'm going to stop hitting clear dice. This will automatically update. So that's going to be Klingbeil with a shot, which is going to be deflected for a corner kick. And we'll switch 2, and then we will have another shot, this time from Weirley. Also goes for a corner kick. This time I will clear the dice, and this time we will switch 1. And it's a tackle with a square showing for Ecatepec. So we move on 53rd minute. This will lead to an attack. So this is off pace. We have 1, 2 pace, 1, 2, 3. So Lima will generate an attack. We switch 3, which means they lose a triangle, but they have 1, 2, 3 showing, and the black die is 3. So that's good. And then 5, Ecatepec does not have 5 squares, so this is going to be a shot on target for Lima. And 8 brings up 0-2, which is going to be Jace Weirley. And then 3 is Noonkester. So, well, we need to wait a second. We will roll the 3rd dice, and that may switch. And it'll switch the defense, but this is going to lead to, well, so what was it? It was 5 and 3 was 0-2 is Weirley. Shot on target for Weirley. But the 7 saved, but now we're going to get another rebound shot on target from Oha, which is going to go straight to spectacular save. Now that green 6, it counted previously. It's not going to count for this one. Also, there will be no assist for this. So we're going to clear the dice, and we're just going to roll on the main. And it's 9. 4 or better is saved for stars on the goalie. And that's mark until he is a 3. This is a goal, and because we re-rolled on the green die, it's a 1. Actually, what we should do is, we should switch this. Hodder is going to get his second goal. Because we re-rolled and we got the 1, that switches who takes the shot, and it's going to be Hodder who gets his second goal of the game. And that makes it 2-1 Lima. As Mark Cantel couldn't get the spectacular save. So, Stanley Hodder, not a guy who gets the every week start. Anyway, just keep getting messages. Mark until. Oh, wait a second. Did I do the right thing? Yeah, right. So that's just. Let me see something here. Well, so I'm taking this. I'll show you this chart. So this is the saved, the 7, which is where we got the rebound 0-1, but it's keeper must make spectacular save. I assume it doesn't go off of the reaction mechanism. The rebound shots right here, they go off of the reaction save of the goalkeeper, but I think that for the 7 specifically, where it says must make spectacular save, I think that means that the player in question automatically gets the shot on target without having to do any check. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm yawning. Well, because it's been a long day. Give me a second. I need to get up for a second here. Sometimes when I'm on the road, I'm starting to get in that little deal where I start like yawning a little bit. I think if I get up and walk around a little bit, it sort of gets whatever malaise gets over you, and you start feeling a little bit more alert. Okay, so 2-1 Lima over Ecatepec. So let's finish up this game here. I'm gonna rotate 1, and this is gonna be highlight reel. Let's roll the second dice. We're gonna rotate 3, and then 6 is offense green die injured. That's gonna be 3 Cruz Capetillo. Use injury rating to determine the length. cast a game plus 1 die. Let's roll the added time die. 1 game. Alright, so injury. Alright, so that means we're going to have to start looking at subs for Ecatepec. And remember that we had those 2 guys. Capetillo is playing as an outside midfielder, so let's we're going to go with Josue Santillanes. He was one of the guys who was okay, so we're going to where am I little? I like to use highlighters to just try and make sure that I don't miss certain things. So, all right, so we're going to bring in I'm not going to explain the chips in this game, but we will give him a chip, a green chip, and what that will get, the green one only gives 3 of a symbol, but it will get swapped out if they lose it. I think. Wait. Yeah, the red's the only one that gets the red chip. You keep that, and it can get swapped over to the next player. The green one, it gets lost if the card is rotated out. So, but Ecatepec will continue, and it's going to be build up. It's going to be tactics. So 1, 2, 1. So only 1. So it will be an attack, and Santillanes is going to use his 3 triangles, which will bring that up to a total of 5. And of course, he uses it, and he would have only needed 1. But that will be a shot on target generated. And 6 goes to player 3, which will be hit right immediately in the game, and he is going to get a shot on target. Well, maybe if we re-roll here, it's not 3, but so player 2 is Duxbury, would be the assist. So it'll be Santillanes with Duxbury. So we got 1 and 2, so that's 3. 2 on the black die, 6 on the white die, which is Gillen. His on-target save is 2, which is much less. That is going to be the tying goal. Super sub comes in and immediately equalizes the game for Ecatepec. I mean, this team, that's kind of what happened last game. They just had some real good dice luck, and right there, it went their way. Not much defense to be found in this game. Hurry. 2-2. That's fun. So far, this has been a pretty entertaining game, and we haven't even gotten to where it starts forcing us to sub, although the injury was a forced sub for the most part. All right, Lima is going to restart in the 58th minute, now back to being equalized. That's going to be a sideline battle for 2 minutes. Most circles. One. Nope. Yeah, there's 2 over here. So Lima will retain possession. Rotate 3, and that's going to be a shot by Noonkester that's wide, but is going to go out for a corner kick off the defense. Rotate 2, and it's going to be 2 minutes of midfield battle. Now we're past the point where subs can automatically be forced upon us. So 2 is touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're missing with Janos, so it's going to be Ecatepec, who starts 63-minute with an attack. Rotate 2, it's going to be 5. They don't have that. That would have been a good time to use the that green chip. But anyway, 6 is going to be a wide shot by Gustavo Felix. D5, Janos does not have a circle, so Ecatepec keeps control. Rotate 5, and it's going to be 4 versus 2 with tactics, and they're going to lose out. Be Lima. Rotate 5, it's going to be highlight reel M. So we're going to rotate 5 on the defense because of the green 6, and let's see what 10 says. Home, which is the green die, it's going to be Witherell. Player called for foul, argues vehemently with ref, now friendly to visiting team offense. Okay, so on the referee decision chart now, if it's for the away attack, they're going to be friendly. All right, Lima will continue. I'm going to rotate 3 and 5. And star. How many stars? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Lima will get an attack based off of that. And we rotate 4 and 5 again for the defense because of a 6. And so do we have 4 triangles? Nope. So it's going to be a wide shot by Noonkester. And then O2 does not have a circle, so we go to Ecatepec here in the 67th minute. Rotate 2, and this is going to be referee decision now. This is neutral for the home team, friendly for the away team. So 4, rotate player 4, and that's a 5. Neutral. Roll 1 die, 1 to 5. It's a 4, so it's offside called. All right, let's clear it, and it's going to be Lima next. Rotate 4, it's going to be 4 minutes of midfield battle. Hard, 1 player versus 2 players. Well, that's weird because Barrett has hard down in the wrong position, but that's 2 versus 1, so Lima will have the attack. Again, it's 2-2. And let's rotate 3, and I think we're still going to be short with black die, so it's going to be off-target shot for Hodder. And then 03 does not have a circle, so Ecatepec gets it. So 10 or 11 gives us automatic subs, but we have yet to hit one of those here in this part of the game. So we rotate 1, And it's going to be one a midfield battle. It's going to be pace 1, 2, 3 for Ecatepec. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Lima. So Lima will get the attack. Ooh boy, this is going to be an on-target shot. They do have at least one showing here. And it's going to be player, let's see, player 1 shoots with 4. It's Klingbile with the assist. Well, at least for now, it's Hodder and Klingbile, which is 3. But we need to roll the third dice now. 6, so we're going to rotate 5 and 4. And so it is Hodder and Klingbile, the shot on target. This would be for a hat trick for Hodder if it, I haven't even looked at the black and white dice. So you need to have 3 or less on the black. It's 5. So that's going to lead to a save, and it's going to be controlled. The rebound is controlled by Soltero. Or wait, not Soltero, Melendrez. My bad. Got a little thrown off there, but still Hodder. It's like, man, is he going to get a hat trick in this game? That'd be an interesting hat trick for a one-star shot guy. All right, we're rotating 4, and it's going to be 4. It's going to be the Sosa. He is hard. Weaver's not. So it's going to be an attack. Let's see. We're going to rotate 4. 2 is a yes for Ecatepec. 5, not 5 for Lima. So this is going to be another shot on target. This time, the total of 7 is going to be 0-1. It's going to be Tanner Ruby, at least until if we were to roll a green 1. I'm going to have to change my. For the next game, by the next game, I'm going to change my setup here to where I roll the green die in this case on its own, so we know who we're changing it. We can. You know what? Maybe I should just do that now. I'm going to do it right now. Let's see. Roll third dice. We're just going to clear 8th, or no. Let's do this. Oh. Okay. That should do it. We need to do one other thing here. Let's add one more button. Okay, guys, let's see how this works out. We're going to roll a green die. 6. All right, well, we don't change anything over here then, right? Now, the 6 is going to be... Oh, that's screwed up. Let's do this. Man, making it tough on me here. Making it tough on me. So there are going to be cases where the 6, I flagged this here as offsides because there are results where offsides generated with that green 6. Well, let's hit the shot. That's going to be 5. Or wait. Oh, well, wait a second. Just a second. Got off track. 0-1. Shot on target for Ruby with 4. 4? Contreras was the assist, who has a 0 assist rating. But that's Ruby with 2. 1 is going to be the black die, which means that shot is... The shot qualifies as a goal as far as Ruby goes. Now, that we need to check Gillen. His on-target save is a 2-star. The 4 is greater than that. Is a we need to check 5. We look at this 5 blasted in from close range. Oh, you didn't see that on camera. That is a goal. Some of these have where the 6 would rule it out, but that is going to be a goal for Tanner Ruby, assisted by Goy Contreras, and it's a 3-2 lead for Ecatepec. And if I am messing anything up, please let me know. I think I'm doing what you're supposed to do here. What are we at, 2 hours? It's because I'm doing a lot of explanation, but... And so we still have yet to roll one of the auto sub rolls, and we still won't. So this is going to be take on 3 versus 3, hard. Neither of them have hard, so it's just going to be lost to the defense. Re-roll. So we rotate 2, and that's going to be sideline battle. 2 minutes. Most circles. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So Ecatepec keeps going. Home field attack. Rotate 3. We have 1 triangle showing. We rotate 5. There's going to be a shot off target for 0-3. It's going to be Santillanes, goal scorer. 0-2 circle. McIlvray has it. All right, so we're getting into a spot now where I think we need to make an... Let's see. I think we have to make an automatic sub at the 80th minute for Lima. Let me look at the substitutions in the book. Once the game reaches the 80th minute, either or both teams have not yet been required to sub. They will be required to do so here. If the midfield or sideline battle will take you past it, do it before. Roll the green die to substitute the indicated player, even if he's a defender. 6 is rolled. Choose the player to send. Team has completed the required substitute. Is not required. Okay. So Lima has not yet substituted. So they will do that here, and I need to look at. So I think London Smalling would be the guy that we bring in as an attacker, and we're going to roll the green die, and it's a 1, so it's going to be Hodder who comes out. In is going to be Smalling. And remember, a green chip is given to anybody who does not have a star or a triangle or a square or a circle. So Smalling will take position 1. We'll give him a green, which is going to be worth 3 triangles. We still have Ecatepec having control, even though Lima made the sub. So let's move on. Take on 2 versus 4, hard. They're both hard. Yes means that Ecatepec will get the attack. They only have 1 showing. We could also use the green chip for squares. In this case, we're gonna let it go because we'd like to use it for triangles. We rotate 2. Now there are 2 showing here, but there are also 2 squares showing, so that is going to pay off. It's going to be an off-target shot for Witherell. And then D3 does not have, D3 does not have it, so it's going to remain with Ecatepec in the 82nd minute. Rotate 2, midfield battle for 2 minutes. And touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Smalling's missing touch, so it's going to be an attack for Ecatepec. Rotate 3. And they don't have 3 triangles, so it's going to be an off-target shot. So what do we have? A total of 5, so it's going to be 04. It'll be Sosa. D4 doesn't have a circle, so it's going to stay. With Ecatepec. Rotate 5, and it's going to be the highlight reel chart. Rotate 2. Defense, green die, which is again 2. Injured, removed from game. It's going to be Chase Weaver. Injured the rest of game. So that will be their second sub here in the 85th minute. They're going to bring in Damian Morency. Just a second. Out Weaver in Morency. And Morency will get a blue chip, which is worth 6. Again, blue and green, if a player has to be rotated, they will lose that. Okay, so Ecatepec keeps control 87th minute, and so we're going to have, oh, here, I need to do, we're going to add 2 minutes at the end for that, for that one as well as the other one for the injury. Plus we have 3 goals, so we're going to have a bit of stoppage time here. So, Okay. So 2 rotates. It's going to be a sideline battle. For 2 minutes, and then the most circles 1, 2, 3, 4. 89th minute. 3 and 5 rotate for the defense. They avoid losing the chips. They need to get control here. Oh, you know what we could do? We're going to ditch Smallings. I'm going to change that. I'm still getting used to the strategy that you can use a chip to win a sideline battle, and we're going to do that. So then we're going to take this next roll. We're going to rotate 3 and 5. And then it's a build up. So it's star. How many stars? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that will be an attack for Lima. Morency is going to use the blue chip. That's going to make it really 8 for 8 triangles. They didn't even need to use that right there, but we're going to rotate 1. Are there 3 squares? 1? No, there are not. So this is going to be a shot on target. And 4 is 01, which is Miguel Oja, which there's going to be no assist because 1 is on the green die. But it's a spectacular save, so they're going to go off of Marcantil, who has a spectacular save of 3 stars. So let's roll the green die. Who do we change? Oh boy, that's going to rule out some of these. And it's a 6, 3 or better. It is saved. That is a save, and it's going to go for a Lima corner kick. All right, we're going to take a minute here to do a substitution for we're going to substitute Tanner Ruby for Ballweg, just to try and get some kind of sub in here, secondary sub, because we have up to 3, and most games each team's going to use all 3, but in this case we're not getting there. All right, but Ballweg is going to be in there, and he will get a blue chip for having a triangle. So let's clear dice, added time 6 minutes. We're going to just go up to 8 and call it good right there. Actually, no. We'll go to 9. Don't want to carry on forever with this. So Lima will have the corner kick. Clear the dice again. It's going to be, we're going to rotate 5 for Lima. 3 versus 3 tactics. They lose out to Ecatepec. Rotate 5, build up. Tactics 1, 2, 1, 2. Decide or die says yes, so that will be an attack for Lima. And instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use they're playing with a lead, so you're allowed to clock kill. Instead of taking an attack, so I'm going to put 2 minutes here, and then they're going to get possession back. Rotate 5. Wait, so Ecatepec. Keep forgetting to move that little marker. So 10. All right, well, that would actually be the green die player. So we can pick a player. They're going to... Let's see. Hi there, Ken. Let's see, they were already behind in defenders. I don't know. I don't know. I guess in theory they're required. Well, let's do it. Well, we can't. I feel like you can't take another defender off of here. So we're going to sub out Oha, which is probably not in their best interest, but at least at this stage they finally gotten all 3 subs in there. Okay, so what do we have? We had, and that's a tackle. Ecatepec had that. They do have a square, so it goes back to Lima. The 5th minute of stoppage time here. And we're not going to worry about doing it. Of course, now we get the 10s and 11s. But that's a tackle. So back to Ecatepec. Rotate 3. Again, there's the 11. It happens well into stoppage time. What, 3? Actually, I flipped 3. He was already in the game. We're just gonna let it be. It's gonna be a shot for Melendrez. Leads to a corner kick. And we'll rotate 3 again, and that's gonna be a tackle. So we got 2 minutes left in this with Ecatepec with a 3-2 lead. Been a rather interesting scoring game. Wearily. Well, this is a highlight reel. So let's see what happens. We'll rotate 1. Oh, I forgot to give Cromartie just lost his chip that he would have had. 8. Defense, green die. It's Ballweg, who has a note, so he's going to be out this game +4. All right, well. Let's see. Ruby Capetillo. Yeah, so we're going to have to do one more sub, I think. And they're going to lose that blue chip, which they probably weren't going to use anyway. But Ballweg is... that's weird. I don't know how my programming is going to do with that. We will bring in... Aguilan Guzman. I think we can actually switch players, but anyway, we can rearrange them during the game, but let's not out Ballweg in Guzman. We'll take it out to the 11th minute. Man, that's a lot of stoppage time. But okay, we're getting close to being done here. Let's clear this stuff out. Rotate 1, and it's a 1-minute midfield battle. Someone's going to get an attack here. Pace. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so one last shot. They have 3 triangles. There's not enough squares, so we need to switch 5. And actually, Janos, he's got two scissor assist, which means that's going to make it really tough to score. But anyway, we have a shot on target here, and it will be 05. Well, it's 04 or 05, and the decider die is a no, so it's going to be 05. It'll be Janos. Let's see. Green die roll is 6. What's the shot? He's only got a 1 shot there, so it's going to be saved. Then a rebound shot and a spectacular save is needed to be made by Markentel. And that's going to be Cromarty. So let's clear the dice. Roll the green die 6 again. 3 and 1 is 4. And the spectacular save chart on the 4 is saved. And the final whistle goes, and that is your match. As Ecatepec, the home team, squeak out a 3-2 victory. It was a flurry at the end, but they are victorious. Although I guess in theory we're supposed to do a corner kick off of that, but what the heck? What's the corner kick give us? Earl, why do you do that to yourself? We should just call it game, but it's not really game because the rules say you shouldn't end when a corner kick or other free kick is pending. So let's go back over here. We got Lima corner kick. And so we switch 1 and we go to the referee K chart. Is this going to be a last-minute penalty? 9. For the away team, this is friendly. 9. Defense foul, offense gets direct free kick. So this is it. This is it. Who is going to take? It's going to be Morency. Morenci's going to take the direct free kick. Let's clear the dice. And you get the lowest roll 2. What is that going to be? Spectacular save. Another spectacular save is needed from Hector Markentel. Roll the green die. It's 4. Let's go ahead and rotate him. And it's going to be 6, 3 or better saved. And again, that goes to another corner kick. I think we need to keep going because it says to not stop until you get out of this cycle. So let's roll again. 3, and that's going to be a sideline battle. That will be the end of it. That will be the end of it. So still 3-2 with a couple of extra little doodads in there that made it interesting. So hi there, Ken. I probably made a mockery of the game, but maybe not. I think it went okay. You know, These games get a little long when you have to narrate them. Just have to remember Ballweg had an injury. He can't play next game, but they and Ecatepec gets Josh is it Rock? I think that's his name. Yeah, Josh Rock back next game. He is one of their better defenders. So, I'm going to enter in my stats. I'm not sure anybody really cares about those, but let's just do a quick recap of this one. You know, we had Lima get a goal in the first half, 13th minute. Hodder looked like he wasn't going to be much of a player, but he got the goal in the 13th minute, killing off the half. They gave up a penalty, and McGilvery equalized for Ecatepec to make it 1-1 as they went to the half. Then we came back from the half. Hodder got his second goal on a rebound. Gillen could not make the spectacular save. Or no, it was Marcantel couldn't make the spectacular save. And then Capitilla got injured. Sub in Santillanes. He immediately gets a shot on goal, which goes in, gets past Gillen to equalize it back to 2 apiece. And in the 75th minute, Tanner Ruby got another one past Gillen, and Marcantel and Ecatepec held on to bring the home team a happy result in this one. So that's where this one stands. I'm not going to do much debrief on this other than that. I think, you know, of course, playing this with dice is going to take you a little more time. I have some things kind of like bringing up result lookups and things, which helps move things along in it. But again, I'm also trying to narrate this for you as well. But all in all, I think it's a fun game. You know, I don't want to say that I have. It's just it's a different game than ATBA soccer, and I think after now playing a few games here in the last several days, I've begun to appreciate the aspects of this which have a similar soccer feel to them. You know, you kind of get some of these the build-ups where possession changes, you get some sideline battles again. You know, it's like you get a number of things when you don't have shots on goal generated. I mean, I think this is a plenty quick enough game and not to need express, but I also get the idea that there is an option there for someone who wants it to really book along. I've thought about purchasing express, and maybe I will at some point, but you know, I'm one of the guys that just feels like if you're gonna want to have this as a hobby, then you should. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but it's a toss-up, right? I mean, like I was gonna say you should enjoy the game for what it is, but then on the other hand, if you really want to play a season and that's what you enjoy, is seeing how something plays out through a whole season, you know, is a 2-year gratification period optimal, right? I mean, is it good to be here in 2028 still playing out this season? And maybe so, I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind in a few months, but for now I like this. I mean, I also like the ATBA soccer, and I just you know, I got to have multiple things that I'm horsing around with, because you know, each thing, you know, just like History Maker Baseball versus ATBA versus Strat. As far as baseball goes, it's just they all have their quirks, they all have their ups, and they all have their downs. And it can just to get some variety on the tabletop can be good. So anyway, I'm gonna sign off. Been a long live stream. It's heading towards 2.5 hours, but would have been a lot quicker if I hadn't gone through all the setup and a little bit more of the nuts and bolts of everything. So yeah, just if you're interested, this is sort of the final deal. All you OCD people in the audience would probably want me to do this or this. Maybe this is better. So, all right. Hey, take it easy, you all. Hope you have a great rest of your day as we close out the weekend. First weekend in June. First full weekend in June. I'll probably get another game in here at some point today, but I don't know. I might need to invest some quality time with my loved ones. But anyway, and my loved ones being people, not my games. But all right, have a great day, everybody, and see you back here on Tenacious Sports for some more tabletop sports in the very near future. See you then.